I make enough money to live comfortably. Unfortunately, comfortably means 3 Red Bulls a day and paying double for them because the store is too far. We all dream of hitting the Powerball jackpot because then we can retire and finally start living. But is that really the end goal? Just stop doing things and exist? Because I've done that. It's called being unemployed, and nobody congratulates you for it. In fact, they actively avoid you at family gatherings. So clearly there's more to the money thing than just having it. Do you need money? How much will you actually need before you die? And why does a sandwich cost $14? Let's find out. Money is a made-up piece of paper that was invented to give you a promise that you can buy things instead of carrying them around, like silver, gold, or livestock. Before money existed, people used a system called bartering, which is where you trade goods directly with someone else. So if you were a farmer, you could trade your wheat for some blacksmith tools. And if you were neither of those things, you'd probably just die. The economy wasn't really beginner friendly. The problem with bartering is that it requires both people to want what the other person has, which works fine until you're trying to buy a house and all that you have left is 400 chickens. And the seller is vegan. So eventually, merchants in China got tired of hauling thousands of heavy coins across the country and thought, what if we just wrote it down on a piece of paper instead? And honestly, that might be the most relatable thing anyone has ever done. They invented an entire financial system because they were too lazy to carry stuff around. And I respect it. The first paper notes looked something like this. Then they evolved into something like this. And now money looks like this, which is a number on your phone screen that goes down every time you open a food delivery app, and up, well, never really, it just goes down. Now here's the fun part. Governments eventually realized that since they can't spawn gold or silver out of thin air, they could just endlessly print paper money instead. This created inflation, which is where everything slowly gets more expensive while your salary stays exactly the same. But who cares, right? Infinite money glitch sounds way better than responsible monetary policy. China actually did figure this out the hard way. They printed so much paper money that it became worthless. And by 1455, they abandoned paper currency entirely. It took them hundreds of years to bring it back, so the first country to invent paper money was also the first one to realize it was a terrible idea. Money changes a lot, depending on where you are in life. It's one of those things that completely reshape itself every few years. Kind of like your taste in music, except this one actually matters. When you were a kid, $20 lasted a full week, and $100 made you feel like you owned the entire neighborhood. You'd walk into a store with a 20 and walk out with a bag of candy, a toy, and some change. You were basically a venture capitalist making strategic acquisitions at the corner store. And the best part about it, you had no bills, no rent, no subscriptions, no taxes. Your only financial obligation was the ice cream truck. And even that was optional. You were living the life billionaires are actually trying to get back to. Now in your early adult life, $100 feels like pocket lit. Everything around you costs at least $10 and a sandwich is $14. Parking is $8 and your phone bill is $60. Breathing near a city center is somehow also $8. Now you're sitting there thinking, my grandpa bought a house for the price of a modern sandwich and I can't afford either? Gotta love inflation, right? There's this beautiful moment in every young adult's life where you check your bank account after paying all your bills and see a number so small you're not sure if it's your balance or the time. When we talk about money, there are generally 4 categories of people we can group it into. Think of it like in a video game's difficulty settings. Except you don't get to choose, the tutorial is terrible, and someone keeps nerfing your class every update. Level 1. The streets. These are the people who spawned into hardcore mode. They didn't finish school, had some major setbacks, or just got dealt a hand so bad the dealer should be arrested. At this level, you're stressing about every single dollar. Not should I get the regular or large stress? I mean, can I eat today stress? You're trying every possible way to earn money, just to not starve. And 1 hour of work plus your soul for $50 doesn't sound so bad when the alternative is nothing. Most people I know at this level have extremely bad decision making. And I don't mean that as an insult, it's a pattern. You could literally print out a step-by-step plan for them to build wealth. Laminate it, frame it, hand deliver it to their door with a motivational speech and a PowerPoint presentation. and they'd look at you, put it down and say, "Nah, I think the scratch off sounds way better." It's like giving someone a map out of a maze and they just eat it. To put this into real numbers, living under the extreme poverty line means surviving on less than about $2 a day. That is less than your Starbucks order, less than the fee your bank charges you for not having enough money in your account. You're literally getting charged money for being poor. At some point, the system isn't even pretending anymore. It's just bullying you. And here's the thing that makes it a trap. When you're this broke, you can't afford to make the smart long-term decisions. You can't invest if you can't eat. You can't go to school if you can't pay rent. Every dollar has to go to surviving today, which means tomorrow stays exactly the same. It's a cycle, and the exit is behind a paywall. But at least the scratch-offs are only $2. Level 2. Average. This is the biggest chunk of people, since most of us earn enough to live, but not enough to care. You can buy your Starbucks coffee for $7 and it won't kill you financially. But if your washing machine breaks and you have to drop $500, things get tricky. Suddenly you're watching YouTube tutorials on how to hand wash clothes in a bathtub and telling yourself it's a lifestyle choice. It's not minimalism if it wasn't voluntary. The median individual income in the US is about $62,000 a year right now, which sounds reasonable until you realize that after rent, taxes, health insurance, and subscriptions you forgot you had, you're left with just enough to treat yourself to a nice dinner once a month at Subway. And you're still checking if the footlong deal is still running. And there's this thing you start doing when you check your bank app 3 times before buying something that costs $30. Not because you can't afford it, but because you need to emotionally prepare for it. For most people at this level, life follows a pretty predictable path. School, work until you're 70, retire for 5 years, and then die. Which for some people is genuinely enough. And for others, it's the most depressing sentence they've ever heard. The middle class is the Goldilocks zone of just existing. Not too rich, not too poor, just mid. You can afford a vacation, but you'll be emotionally recovering from the cost for the next 3 months. You can go out for dinner, but you're reading the prices on the menu before you read what the food actually is. And if someone at the table suggests splitting the bill evenly after they ordered a steak and 2 cocktails while you had a salad and a water, you're already committing a crime in your head. There's also this beautiful thing called the unexpected expense, which is where the universe randomly decides you've been too comfortable. Your car needs new brakes, your tooth hurts, or your laptop dies the week before a deadline. These things never happen once at a time, by the way. They travel in packs like wolves, financial wolves that smell your stability. One thing the middle class is genuinely great at though is pretending everything is fine. You've got a car that works most of the time, an apartment that is fine, clothes that are acceptable, and a credit card balance that you'll deal with eventually. The whole lifestyle is built on good enough, and honestly, there's something kind of beautiful about that. Or maybe that's just the coping mechanism talking. Level 3. Wealthy. Now we're talking big bucks, the millionaires of the world, but lowercase m. These people work a really good job or own a small company and have somewhere between 1 and 10 million in liquid cash, which is already 1,000 times more than what most people have in their entire savings account. Let that sink in for a second. 1,000 times. If the average person's savings is a puddle, these people would have an ocean. A modest ocean, but still. They still have to earn money to maintain their lifestyle. They're not sitting on a beach doing nothing. Well, some of them are, but most are still working. The difference is that pretty much anything you throw at them financially won't hurt them. Car breaks down, annoying, but not a crisis. Medical emergency, covered. Washing machine dies, they probably have too. The exception, of course, is tax evasion. The IRS does not care how nice your house is. That sounded wrong, they definitely do care if your house is nice. Most people will never or only in their very last years catch a glimpse of what this level feels like. Because in order to get here, you either have to inherit it, build a business that actually works, or be a degenerate gambler. Not the street level kind with the scratch-offs, but the kind in tailored suits staring at candlestick charts on 4 monitors at 6 AM pretending they're not just guessing. So basically the same thing. Being a millionaire does not mean you're ultra rich. It means your financial problems are the kind other people would love to have. Should I renovate the kitchen or buy a rental property is a very different kind of stress than should I eat lunch or save that money for the electric bill. Level 4. Crazy rich. These are basically anyone from 100 million and up. Now, sure, someone with 100 million and Elon Musk are living on two completely different planets. Sometimes literally. But I'm grouping them together because for most normal people, it's more money than your entire family tree has ever generated across all of recorded history combined. Most of these people are either the Steve Jobs of the modern world or they inherited everything. There's basically no in between. You either build the rocket ship or your great-grandfather did. At this level, normal rules simply don't apply. Everything is possible with enough cash. You want a private island? Done. Dinner with a president? You might be the president. You don't fly business class, you buy the businesses. And when someone asks what your budget is, you simply laugh. To put that scale into perspective, if you spent $1,000 every single day, it would take you almost 3,000 years to blow through $1 billion. Some people actually say that the ultra-rich are actually more miserable than the street level. And okay, it's a different kind of miserable. Sure, you can't find true love, but you're crying about it on a $120 million super yacht somewhere off the coast of Hawaii, while eating lobster prepared by Gordon Ramsay himself. Meanwhile, street-level people might also not find the one, but they're crying about it in a cardboard box. Same thing, right? So after all that, how much money do you actually need? The answer is completely dependent on you. It always has been. And that is the best part. Nobody tells you, because it's more profitable to make you think the answer is more. If you can live a good life on $1,000 a month, then you'll only need about $12,000 a year. Except you're actually going to need to earn more, because you're going to get taxed on it. So you earn money that gets taxed to buy a coffee that gets taxed, which pays the salary of the barista, which also gets taxed. So he can donate to a lonely Twitch streamer, which also gets taxed. There's a study that gets thrown around a lot that says happiness stops increasing after you earn about $75,000 a year. And while that exact number is debatable, the point stands. After a certain amount of money, it doesn't make you happier. It just makes your problems more expensive. You go from I can't afford furniture to I can't decide which furniture. Different problems, same amount of time spent worrying about it. As for me, enough money is enough to live my current lifestyle without thinking about it, which basically consists of 3 Red Bulls a day and paying 150% markup at the gas station to avoid walking an extra minute. But that is my number. That's my enough. And I think most people never sit down and actually figure out what their enough is. They just keep chasing more because nobody told them they could stop. If I had to constantly check my bank account and mentally calculate every purchase, I'd lose it. But I've been there before. Most of us have. And honestly, the jump from counting every penny to not thinking about it is the single biggest quality of life upgrade you will ever experience. Way bigger than going from comfortable to rich. At the end of the day, money is a tool, a weird made-up imaginary tool that somehow controls everything about your life. Where you live, what you eat, who you spend time with, how much stress you're carrying, and whether or not you can go to the doctor when something hurts. It's not everything, but pretending it's nothing is something only people who have it get to say. Many people have discovered ways to get rich in this world. And if you haven't, don't worry. I will tell you how for only $1,000 a day. No refunds, no liability, no guarantee. Only 2 seats left. Book it now. See you in your Ferrari. Or more realistically, see you at the gas station. I'll be the one paying $5 for a Red Bull because the supermarket is just slightly too far.